not just right over to the just don't block that.
Okay, well done. First question, you learned about the parts of a water system. That includes collection, storage, treatment, etc. What is the most futuristic and innovative part of your city's water system?
The most futuristic and innovative part of our city's water system is probably the atmospheric water generators. Basically, what it is a finned radiator coated with moth powder. What moth powder is it is metal ions linked together by organic segments that form a 3D molecular structure, and it acts as a sponge so that when air with moisture flows through it, it captures the moisture while allowing air to flow through. And we coat the radiators, the finned radiators, with that, so that, as Daniel mentioned, once the moisture coming in is equal to the moisture coming out, the radiators are heated to release all of the moisture stored within the Gemzor pattern. This also acts as another way that we clean our water by killing any biocontaminants.
Besides the water system, what are other examples of how your future city is resilient?
Another example of how our city is resilient is we have two different technologies to protect our cities from earthquakes. So one is our base isolation foundation. So what it is, it's a subterranean bearing system. So when instead of holding the buildings in place and not letting them move, it lets the buildings slide horizontally a little bit, just so the buildings wouldn't be completely absorbing the full power of the earthquake. And the second one is our two-mast damper. So what it is a weighted metal ball, or glass ball in our case, and it swings. When the building sways, the weight swings in the opposite direction to counteract the movement to keep the building balanced and steady. The two-mast damper also acts as a water storage for our Gemzor process.
May I add on to what he said? In addition to our earthquake-proof technologies, we also have locally sourced farming on our, as they're called, sidescapers. They act as not only a way to connect all of our sky gems, but also as a way that we can store extra farming, commerce, and industry. So we have sustainably sourced farming that is local, and also, as you can see in our aquaponics, we have fish that we can also provide to the citizens. This fish's waste provides a nitrogen fertilizer for our farming system right above.
So I think you have a geothermal system you called Argus, is that right? So you have wells. How deep are your wells?
Our wells are 2 kilometers deep. Just deep enough to reach a geothermal aquifer for us to get the heated water from.
You all have a lot here, so this question is asked before. What is the one thing you've learned from an engineering standpoint? So,
the thing I learned is how earthquakes work and how to be protected from earthquakes.
One thing I learned is that in engineering, that the first thing you come up with will never be the thing you end up with. And if you never have failure, or if you never have failure, you will never be able to succeed.
What I learned was the difficulty of actually planning a city and keeping all of your structures sustainable and realistic. We had a lot of ideas in the beginning for what we might do to have a renewable water source that our engineer mentor, Mr. Gaynor, helped us with. One of our original ideas for sustainable water was shooting nitrogen into the clouds in order to funnel the water out of them. But our mentor helped us, and we realized that shooting chemicals in the cloud wasn't the best idea.
Your model of your city is very futuristic. Can you point out where your residential units are?
Our residential units are actually in our sky gems. The higher floors of our sky gems provide residential units such as houses, hotels, and office space.
What we did is we have this idea we integrated into our city called transit-oriented development. It basically means that everything a person might need from healthcare to education to their job space is within 10 minutes of their home. So we have, in these sky gyms, we have stores, residential, and healthcare, a small fire station, a small police station, all interspersed throughout.
So your city's very pretty. I think I'd like to live there.
Thank you.
If I was a resident on a nice sunny Saturday afternoon, what would I do?
What we have for entertainment is, you see this orb right here? That is our main entertainment center. It houses our sports stadiums. It also houses things such as theaters, both live and film. And more importantly, as we were shown earlier with the classes, it houses our virtual reality stations in which you can experience things that were viewed from the past, that we have videotaped using our helium sensors. Another thing you could do is surfing along the Pacific coast and golfing.
Yeah, you stole my question. I was going to ask that. What type of governance structure do you have for your city? Who runs the city?
Well, in our government, we have, of course, the same federal government as the rest of the United States does, but our local government is a two-branch government with an executive government, an executive branch headed by the governor, and then a legislative branch of different legislatures from throughout the city voted upon by the people.
I'm assuming that the team that worked on this was including you three, plus probably more of your classmates. When you did that, when you were working on it, did you have any disagreements or differences of opinions? And if you did, how did you resolve those?
So we had two disagreements, the location and the name. We resolved them, so we have a chalkboard in our classroom. So what we did is we wrote down all the names and the places we wanted for the city. And we wrote them down, and everyone got a sticky note. We all went outside in the hallway, and we each took turns going in, and we placed our post-it note on the name we wanted, then came in and tallied it up. And we ended up with our name, Gem Pacificus, in Southern California in Santa Barbara County.
So I want to ask you about the model itself and the design process for laying it out, figuring out what components you wanted to put in there.